Okay, so I'm gonna do another reaction video. This one's about, it says sex is overrated, and I have a theme going with my channel where I call everything overrated. And so I'm actually gonna have the same title as this video. Uh, so I don't want to say, "Yeah, you copied this dude's title." Yeah, so if you see my other videos, I say everything is overrated, or I say guilty or not guilty. It's gonna be my thing. Um, but yeah, so I did a video on marriage is overrated, and now I kind of want to talk about sex being overrated. And I don't know, it's just like it feels like the only reason I want to have sex is because the society is pushing me to have sex, not because I actually want to. And that's been the way my whole life since I was a teenager. It's the constant pressure of, oh, dude, you gotta lose your virginity, and afterwards, it's like we gotta hit up the clubs, man, pick up chicks constantly, one after another. And I felt like I was just doing it just because it was the thing to do, because everybody else is doing it, and you don't want to be left out. You don't want to be the only dude not getting laid constantly. And then as the way I got older, I just kind of got tired of that lifestyle, and less. And lately, people have been on my case about it, and so I kind of wanted to talk about it because the older you get, the more people get on your case. It's like you're weird if you're single, It's like my coworkers would ask me, "Hey man, what you do this weekend?" And if I say, "Oh, nothing. I'm just working on crypto, working on YouTube, working on a bunch of other stuff," they're like, "Oh man, how come you ain't out there, getting picking up some chicks and shit, And I'm like, I don't know, just I think about success, or actually, I think about making money, honestly. That's all I think about is most of the time. It's making my next dollar. That's what gets me going. It's not women. Like some of my co-workers or people that I know, that's the only thing to think about is chicks. All day, every day. That's all they talk about. When we have a conversation, they bring up women nonstop, every single time, and I always bring up money. That's my thing. That's because that's really what my passion is. And like I said, I thought maybe for a while that I was asexual, but I'm not, because I do like women. I do. Like women, and I do have a type of chick that I like. I like an intelligent woman, and I like a hippie vibe, like not like a hippie look, like a long, loose hair, like a loose fitting clothes, not too revealing, actually more modest looking, but a woman with a brain. I cannot be around dumb women. I don't know what it is. Like someone who believes in astrology and energy this, energy that. It's like, oh, you can feel like the earth's energy and my chakra and all this. I'm like, man, I'm not into that. Like it's BS. Like, do you know what the energy is? The ability to do work. They use the word energy every other word, not knowing what the actual definition is. Yeah, so I can't be around a dumb chick, and especially as a turn on. Like, it doesn't turn me on. It does the opposite. And I don't know. I don't come across those women at all, anywhere. And so I guess that's part of the reason most of the time when I'm single. And then I'm also gonna just not pursuing it too, because I don't see a point in having sex. Um, I see sex as the point is to have children, right? Like biologically, you have sex to have children. And if you're having sex and you're doing it for fun, then it's like what's the point? You're doing it to get off. And if you're just doing it to get off, then I don't need help with that. I can do that by myself. It's and I can save myself the headache of the anxiety of performance, or because I think every guy has that feeling of they want to put on a good show, because they know that like you're gonna rate them or something, and they don't want to be rated low on your list of oh, how was so and so? Oh man, fucking lousy. So there's like an anxiety and all these nerves and stuff, and I'm like, man, I can do with all that stress, all that drama. I don't need that in my life, and that's kind of what I feel like. But now I'm gonna watch this video clip. I'm gonna see what this dude has to say, and if I agree or disagree with what he says.
I don't care about sex. 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 I've never cared about sex in my entire life. Now, I know this may come as a surprise to most people watching this, especially men, because most men care about sex. But I'm not like most men, okay? When I say I'm built different, that has various different meanings to it. And this is one of those meanings. I don't care about sex. And this is something that it took me a very, 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 very long time to come to terms with. I'm talking about up until recently, when I was at the Airbnb with High School JT and my friend Bryce Wilson, and we were talking about this exact topic. And I admitted to them that I don't care about sex. I genuinely don't. And I feel like in the past, I kind of made excuses, or I was just in denial in general about this. Okay, I thought that because other men cared about sex, that meant that I had to care about sex as well.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
It's not true. I just don't care about sex. I'm different. I think differently. I'm wired differently. Something that I've realized as of late is that I feel like the way that most men think about sex is the way that I think about success. Okay?
Same thing.
And you guys help me fill in the blanks here, because I'm just working based on assumptions. Because like I said, I don't think about sex and I don't think like other men, so I'm just assuming that this is how most of you guys think. But I'm assuming that for you, you don't have to force yourself to think about sex. Sex is the natural, predominant thought in your mind, assuming that there's not something crazy going on in your life or something crazy going on in that.
Yeah, I kind of do have to put myself in the mood. I just don't flat out think about it. Like I have to, yeah. Like if I'm, gonna jerk it or something, I have to like really, really, really think about it.
Exactly.
Like get to mental stimulation or something.
Okay. Sex is the predominant or even predominant subconscious thought in the back of your mind, as opposed to being a subsidiary thought in the back of your mind. You don't have to force yourself to think about it. It's just completely natural for you. In my case, success takes the place of sex in that context. I don't have to force myself to think about success. It is natural. I naturally think about it 95% of the time.
It's the same, man. I think about making my next dollar all day, every day. That's all I think about, hustling.
In 95% of my day, I am thinking about success, being successful, thinking about getting to that next level of success.
I think it's like a puzzle, man. Honestly, it's like getting rich. It's like it's a problem that I have, and I'm just trying to figure out how can I solve this problem. And for me, sex, I don't know. Once you achieved it with so many people, it's like I don't know. Like I know I could do it, so it's not my thing anymore. It's like what's the point?
With YouTube, writing, fitness, anything else in between, I'm thinking about success. Now, the reason why I know I'm not completely asexual is because I do think about sex from time to time. Okay, that 95% of the time that I think about success, there's also that 5% where I think about sex. Okay, but it's very, very rare And even though I can enjoy sex from a physical standpoint, hence why I found pleasure in the PMO cycle and why I needed to start doing NoFap,
I don't know what PMO is.
I feel like intellectually.
I think I know what NoFap is. NoFap is just, I think no porn and no masturbation, I think. I don't know. I'll have to look up a video on that, and maybe I'll do a video on that.
I have trouble enjoying sex because I just don't see the point of it. I don't see the point in doing something that you purely derive physical pleasure from. I just don't understand it.
See,
I understand
same.
it, but I don't understand it. I don't understand the hype behind sex.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm super experienced when it comes to sex, but I'm not a virgin. I am not a virgin. My body count is 1. I've only had sex with one girl, and it was a girl that I was in a relationship with. I would say on average we had sex probably 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, this might be a little TMI, but I'm just putting this out there to give you guys more context as to how I came to this conclusion. We would probably have sex 2 to 3 times a week, and I probably finished 5 times at most. 5 times at most. I can count on one hand the amount of times that I finished in what, a 7-month relationship?
I had that problem a couple of the times. I mean, not most of the time, but I had that issue a couple of the times where it was like, hey man, it ain't happening. And I'm just like, let's just call it quits, you know. It ain't you, you know, it's me. Like, it just, nothing will come out, you know.
A 6.5-month relationship, having sex on average 2 to 3 times a week. And it's not because I didn't enjoy having sex physically. Okay, I thought that it was a great emotional bonding experience, but at the same time, I didn't really see the point in doing it, especially having protected sex. I understand if you want to have kids or something like that, which, believe me, I am nowhere near wanting to have kids. Nowhere near wanting to have kids. I'm 22 years old. I don't want kids anytime soon. But I feel like unless you're going to have kids, what's the point?
See, yeah, that's the way I feel. Like, what's the point in because the point of sex is to have children. So if you're just doing it to get off, like I said, you can do that by yourself.
Yes, it's pleasurable, it feels good, but I just don't get it. And I feel like every time I would have sex, I would think about this. Now I want to take it further back to a video that I made in late
Yeah. Cadillac.
2020. If you've been subscribed to me since then, you might remember this video. The video was called How I Almost Lost My V Card. Now at the time, I was still a virgin. I ended up losing my virginity to my ex-girlfriend probably January, February of 2021, so a few months later. But this was around September of 2020. I was talking to a girl from Tinder. Second time ever seeing her in person, I ended up in her bed. How that happened, I have absolutely no clue. But I ended up in her bed, and I didn't do anything because I didn't feel compelled to do anything sexually. Now, I remember I made a video talking about this, and people lit me up in the comment section. People told me I was gay, people told me I was weird, all types of crazy shit, bro. And the conclusion that I came to was that I was just scared.
They say it must be a common thing with guys, because I get the same thing, because I'm not out there. They're always like, oh man, you scared, bro. Like, don't be scared. It's just pussy, bro. Don't be scared. Or yeah, you gay, bro? You know, it's I think that's just typical how guys act, you know, especially like, you know, everybody wants to be macho.
That's what I assumed. And I do think that there is a lot of truth to that sentiment. I do think that I was scared. I was too scared to do anything. I think prior to that night, I had never even kissed a girl before. So it made sense. Okay, I was scared. Whatever. But I think that she took that out of context. Okay, I feel like she thought that I didn't find her attractive. Even though I did, I found her to be attractive. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ended up in her bed in the first place. But I think that she thought that I didn't find her attractive because I didn't make sexual advancement towards her. Therefore, she assumed that I didn't like her, and then she started to distance herself. And I remember I ended up in her bed one more time after that. I still didn't make a move, and then she ghosted me. And at the time, it blew my mind. It completely blew my mind. I couldn't understand why she ghosted me. But retrospectively, I realize now that that same exact thing has happened on multiple occasions. I just wasn't aware of it. You see, what I've realized, and this could be a limiting belief in my mind, and that's kind of why I'm unpacking it in this video, but I feel like sometimes girls feel like because I don't make sexual advancements.
I know where he's going with this, and I've had the same thing. like um, like women likes to be. I hate to say it, but like some women like to be chased, you know. Um, and I've had this happen to me a couple times where I don't make the first move. Like the last, I want to say like four chicks that I've been with, I never made the move. They made the move. They asked me out. I didn't ask them out. And they would tell me, you know, well, if you like me, how come you didn't make a move? And I was telling them, it's just not my thing. You know, I've been I find it weird. Like I'm around a lot of other. I've been around women all my life, and I see dudes constantly, you know, harassing chicks. You know, especially when they're just being nice. Like, hey, how's it going? Oh, that chick likes me. I'm gonna ask her out. I'm like, no, bro, she's just being nice. You know, and that's the thing. Like a lot of guys don't realize that chicks are constantly being asked out like all the time, especially if they look good. Like I said, I had 7 sisters, so I kind of know how it is. Like just hanging out, we would hang out at places, and dudes just you know everywhere we go, you know, you can't go across the street without being asked out. And I don't know, I kind of just wanted to. I didn't want to be a part of that system. You know, I didn't want to be just another dude who contributes to that. So I was like not making the first move, and also it helps with rejection because when you do ask somebody out, getting rejected kind of sucks. So when they ask you out, you don't even have to worry if they like you because they're making the move. You know. Yeah, but they think that you don't like them because you're not advancing towards them. And then also, I've had a couple of times where, like this dude said, he went to this chick's house, slept in the bed, and she was mad because he didn't make a move. Same thing, you know. Chick hits me up, says, "Hey, you want to come over here and sleep at my place?" And I'm like, I'm just upfront about it. Like I text, should I bring condoms? And she's like, why? You're just gonna come over here and like sleep. We're just gonna cuddle. And I'm like, okay, just check it, you know. Show up and you know, lay in bed. About not even like a couple minutes in, hey, you got those condoms? And I'm like, no, because you said we were just gonna cuddle and we were just gonna, you know, asleep. So obviously I didn't bring no condoms because I took you at your word. You know, I'm not gonna spend any money if I don't got to. I'm cheap. Now that's happened to me several times, or a couple times, and I'm like, how come you just don't tell me up front? You know, what's with all these games going back and forth? And I think it's women don't do it. They're not up forward because they don't want to be perceived as slutty or something. Like they'll just straight up tell you, hey, you want to come over and smash? You know, I get it. It kind of sounds. It does kind of sound slutty, you know. They almost just want to be like timid, like no, and I'm like, okay, you want me to stop? No, don't stop. You know, them, you know. I don't know. It's a thing. Tell me if you experienced that. You know, I had another experience too. You know, you ever seen? I saw this clip. I should respond to it. It's like a dude. A chick asked him. If he wanted to come over to get some coffee, and it was late at night, and he said, "No, I mean it's freaking late. I can do without coffee. It's cool." And all his bros were like, "Bro, she didn't want coffee," and he's like, he's clueless. He's like, "Well, if she didn't want coffee, why she invited me over to her place to get coffee?" It's like, because don't you see? And he goes, "No, I mean, what did she want tea or?" I don't get it. It's like, no, bro, she wanted to sleep with you, and he's like, well, why did she say that? And it's because they're not open about it. And yes, I know that's a thing, but still, I like, and so I'm not all the way stupid or naive, but I still like when I straight up ask you, you know, and I don't get, they straight up say no, then I just take them at their word, you know, and I'm respectful. So I had this other time where a chick says, hey, I'm having coffee with her. She's like, I'm doing some laundry. Do you mind if we go to my place real quick? I gotta switch, put it in a dryer. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Go to her place. I've been talking to this chick for like 2 days. Just met her, you know. Go to her place. This might be a little bit TMI. Go to her place. I'm clueless, you know. Chick invites me over. I don't think anything of it. I'm like, okay, cool, you know. She goes, hey, you want a drink? I got some prosecco. I'm like, okay. Like again, I don't really drink. At that time, I was 5 years sober. So I'm like, all right, I'll drink a little. We get a little buzz, and then she's like, man, it's late. You gonna sleep? Sleep over here. You know, so you don't have to go home. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I could crash on the couch. You know, and she's like, or you know, you can sleep on my bed. And I'm like, but if I sleep on your bed, like, where are you gonna sleep at? She goes, in the bed too. And I'm like, oh, are we gonna have sex? And she goes, I would like to, yeah. And I was like, I was just so clueless. I was like, man, I was like, I wasn't reading any of the signs. I had a straight up ass. Yeah, but like, same with this dude. Like, I guess, yeah, like women aren't just upfront about it. Like, hey, you know, you want to come over and, you know, and hit it. You know, they kind of want a dude to be aggressive with it, you know. And I don't know, it's when you're like a nice guy, respectful. It does kind of make it look like you're not attracted to them, especially when every other guy is freaking nonstop. Hey girl, you look beautiful. Hey man, I like your fit. You know, nonstop. You know, so when you're not constantly chasing it, it's like, oh, that dude, he don't like me.
Towards them, that must mean that I don't like them. But that could not be further from the truth. Okay, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I don't like sex. I don't care about sex. And for me, when I look at a girl, I don't think about sex. I can look at a girl and find her physically attractive and want to be with her based on that, right? Or at least want to get to know her based on that.
I see the same thing. Like, I see a chick, I don't think about all the dirty things I'm gonna do with her. I really want to like not even like most of the time I don't even look at chicks anymore like that because I know 9 times out of 10 we're not gonna match intellectually, and that's really what I want. I want someone that I could actually have a conversation with, and like I said, most people I can't even have a conversation with, so I kind of just give up, you know, because I don't know. It's hard to find people that you link with intellectually, especially like I said. I don't consider myself smart, but I am above average intelligence. I would argue that I am above average intelligence, and it's harder. I mean, just logically speaking. At intelligence wise, the higher you are up in or and I don't want to say in the bell curve, like or because it wouldn't be high, it'd be let's just say IQ wise, the higher IQ that you have, there'd be less people technically. There's less people that you're gonna match with, you know, by the numbers. So yeah, that's the way I feel. And then generally speaking, in that small number, that group is going to be primarily men, uh, and then the women that make up that group, like the odds of you crossing paths with them and then everything lining up, it's not likely to happen.
But for me, what comes after physical attraction is emotional intimacy, not sexual intimacy.
Mhm.
And I think that's where the divide occurs between me and most other men. I don't think about sex. That link, that neurological link that connects physical attraction to sexual attraction does not exist in my mind. It doesn't exist. I don't know why. I don't know how that occurred, but it just doesn't exist. So when I see a girl, my first impulse is to try to get to know her at a very deep and intimate level, emotionally. I'm the type of person who, instead of flirting,
See, this is a part where I kind of disagree. When I see a chick, I don't even care anymore. Like I just assume that they're not even on my level. Like I wouldn't even care to even try anymore. Back when I was more or less bitter or more open-minded, I think kind of relate to what this guy is saying. But nowadays I just gave up.
likes deep conversations. I like deep, intimate conversations, even invasive conversations.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person who wants to get to know somebody's intricacies and nuances, their idiosyncrasies. Why do you think?
I don't want to get into know any of that. Yes, I do want to. If they think logically,
The way that you
like I don't give a damn about a girl's thoughts if they think about astrology or some BS.
think. Okay, why are you the way that you are? What childhood trauma did you go through? These are the types of conversations that I like to have with girls. Okay, especially now that I have an understanding of inner child trauma and how that can affect the way that you develop over time. Okay, a lot of times, man, I'll be talking to a girl and I'll just go full Jordan Green life coach mode on them.
I got no idea who that is.
Because that's just how I am. That's how I am. That's what I care about. Those are the conversations that I like to have. And I feel like any girl that I've been with in the past can attest to that. That I just like to have deep conversations. I'm very big on emotional intimacy. That is what I care about. And to my point earlier, I feel like that kind of throws girls off because they feel like I don't like them or they feel like I just want to be friends with them. But no, that doesn't mean that I want to be friends with you. It just means that I don't care about sex and this is my way of getting closer to you and building that bond. Now, I do feel like once I develop that emotional intimacy, that's when I can start to feel a little bit of that sexual attraction. But even then, it's negligible, especially compared to other men. Okay, I feel like most other men, they're willing to do whatever it takes to get a woman in bed with them.
Yes.
Me, I don't care. A girl can tell me that she wants to save herself for marriage. She can tell me that she wants to save herself for the remainder of her life. I won't care. Okay, obviously that's hyperbole, but I think you get my point. I don't care about sex. I do not care about sex. I never have cared about sex. And given that I'm 22 years old, it's fairly safe to assume that I never will care about sex. It'll never be a predominant thought in my mind. Okay, for example, if you offered me unlimited money in exchange for a lifetime of abstinence, I cannot have sex for the remainder of my life, but I get unlimited money. I am taking that deal with no hesitation.
Same.
No hesitation, no qualms about it, because I don't care about sex. I don't care about sex at all. I care much more about success, and obviously money is just one factor of success, but I care much more about success than I do about sex.
Yeah, I feel 100% the same. I care more about money and success than I do about sex. And just again, to me, sex is. I get it. Like if I had to make a kid, yeah. But just for fun, man. Like I said, I could do other things for fun, and I could get off by myself, and I don't have to deal with all the excess drama or any issues. And I've had sex before. It did feel good, but it wasn't like the only thing. Oh my God, this is. I couldn't live without this, and because I've gone with periods of abstinence, and I don't know, and it's been to the point where I mainly think about like I would like to be in a relationship, but it has to be with the right person, and that person has to be my equal or better. Like intellectually, someone I could have a deep conversation and similar way of thinking. And that's always been my thing. Like, I've always loved smart women. Growing up, man, like my childhood, the girls that I liked as a kid, I'm talking about as a kid, like, I was born in '88. I grew up watching the X-Files. And as a kid watching the X-Files, this TV show, it was in the '90s. I fell in love with this chick named Scully. And the reason I fell in love with her, I was like, man, like, a smart doctor, sophisticated, did not dress slutty. That was like my type of chick, really logical. Because in the TV show, she was the logical one, and her partner Fox was the conspiracy theories, the one that believed in aliens and Bigfoot and everything, and she was a skeptic. And I like that mentality, that skeptic mentality. There was another chick that I liked growing up was Jodie Foster. I saw a movie as a kid, Silence of the Lambs, and I was like, man, also an FBI agent. So both Scully and Jodie Foster were both FBI agents. But she was just like also didn't dress slutty, sophisticated, smart, able to solve the case. And that was my thing. It was just sophisticated women. And then a little bit after that was The Practice, a show about lawyers. Pretty much almost all the women in that show, just sophisticated businesswomen. And but really, there was this one prosecutor, Helen Gamble, just great looking and articulate, very intelligent. That's always been my thing. Intelligent, women who are like independent, not slutty. I don't know. So I have a type. And I don't know where I was going off on that. I've been rambling. But yeah, no, that's the type of girl that I would like to date. And other than that, I could do without. And therefore, I agree with this guy. Sex is overrated. Do you think sex is overrated? Are you like the guys that he's talking about that all you think is about sex? And nothing else. I know those guys. I've worked with those guys. I've been in the army with those guys. That's all they talk about nonstop, every day, all day, and nonstop porn addicts and all that. I'm like I said, I went through like maybe a little phase of that, maybe when I was like early 20s, but not really. Like it's always been about money for me, or success, or just, I don't know, about my life. Like and right now it's the last couple of years. That's all I think about. It is goal oriented. So let me know in the comments all your thoughts on any of this. Okay, I'm off to the next subject.